Sage God is coming at you today. Gonna learn, they're gonna see how we go through this long mystical journey. Peace, destruction, all in one. Let's set it with emotion. Let's go. Hello, everybody. So today, well, first of all, welcome back. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Today we will be discussing part 2 of Shadow Work 101. So I've been going in with my class, and they've been describing different techniques that they like to use when employing shadow work, and some of them are pretty good, so I figured that I would share them with you. Okay, so one of my students said when they do shadow work, what they like to do is they like to write down all of their issues, all of their problems that they've had currently, that they have had in the past, that they project or predict them having in the future. They go through all of these problems and they go back and basically ask questions like, if the problem is I never have enough money, what they'll do is they'll go back and they'll write down the question, and then they'll actually sit down, think about it, have a deep self-to-self talk, and be able to come up with at least an idea of why they're bad at money. For instance, they didn't have it, their family didn't have it growing up, so when they grew up and they got a job and they finally had their own money, they just ended up going batty, and which is why, and they continually do this throughout their life, which is why they struggle with money or any other problem. And I thought that was a really good idea, so I figured I would come share it with you guys. And then I just wanted to touch up on some things, because one of my students said that shadow work is essentially black magic, and if we're doing black magic, doesn't that mean we're converting with evil? That is not the case. As I said in my last video, okay, all of us, we have the lightness inside of us and we have the darkness inside of us. But see, here's the thing: without the darkness, there is no light. Without the light, there is no darkness. Both of these things must intertwine, not only peacefully within yourself, but peacefully with what you project out, or what you project unto others. Now again, when you are doing shadow work and you're embracing your darker side, you're embracing, these issues that you've had that have followed you around your entire life, or that are new, and you're trying to figure out how to deal with them. Either way that you do this, okay, you are not embracing the darkness. What you're embracing is the inner part of you, that part of you, not that everybody else sees, not what you see when you hear that little voice inside your head, but the voice that is up under that, our true subconsciousness, our true thoughts, our true desires, emotions, feelings that we hide or we shelter ourselves from because we're not comfortable with it, okay? And one of the things is that we need to be comfortable with ourselves entirely, not just within, but without as well, if that makes sense. A lot of us, and I do this too, which is why part of the reason why I'm doing this video is because I'm redoing my own shadow working, because I've been slacking in a few things in my life, and I know that part of this is ingrained issues that I'm still working through, or that I have to work through again. Okay, shadow work isn't something that you just do one time. Shadow work is something that you're constantly doing throughout your whole life. You're constantly going in to your subconsciousness, your deepest, most intimate, innermost thoughts. You're going within, and you're diving basically within yourself. The only demons that you have to fight are your own, and you're not fighting demons. You're fighting your issues. You're fighting your problems. Your your morals, or whatever the issue is that you're going through, that is what you're fighting. And a lot of people don't want to do shadow work because they're like, I don't want to see demons. I don't want to see the devil. I don't want to see monsters and all that. It doesn't have to be all of that. Okay? The important thing to remember at the end of the day is you're going in fully armed. Not to fight an army, not to fight a legion, but to fight yourself. Some of our deepest setbacks and issues that we have in life come from within. We are our own biggest critic. We are our own biggest doubter. We are our own enemy. Maybe not from the day we were born, but from the day we start learning from our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, those around us. We start picking up bad habits, TV, music, everything. And at that point, we eventually start becoming enemies to ourselves because we're judging our life based on what others have. We're basing our courage factor based on what other people have. For instance, I would never jump out of a moving plane that is in the air. Okay? They have plenty of people that do it. It's an entire sport by itself. That does not make me any less fearless or any less courageous than the person that would go skydiving, than the person that would jump out of a plane and just go flying and plummeting to the ground. Not me. I'm not going to do that, but I also realize that doesn't affect who I am. Because at the end of the day, I am who I am, and nothing can change that. At the end of the day, I am knowledge, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am peace, I am destruction, I am love, I am war, I am one. I am one in many, but I am one. And it takes a lot sometimes. It takes a lot to get there. But doing things like writing it down, going into meditation, and figuring it out that way, or when you do meditate, picturing yourself as a small child, and basically come to terms with whatever issues that you have in your past and move forward into the future. Okay? And it's the same thing I said in my last videos. We get stuck in one traumatic event or one bad conversation, and that affects us, and we hold it in, and we keep continually holding it in. It eventually gets suppressed within us, and then boom, the next thing you know, we have these lifelong issues that we could have avoided entirely if we would have faced it head on, come to terms within ourselves and with ourselves, instead of stuffing it down deep where the sun don't shine and just letting it stay locked up, cooped up, steadily growing this dark mask, or whatever you want to call it. Dark mask, or whatever you want to call it, however you perceive it to be. And it intensifies and it grows over time, and we unintentionally manifest based on our issues, or we think ahead or plan ahead or whatever based on our issues because of something that happened in the past, and we have to get over that. Okay? So again, when I say shadow working, when I say you should do shadow work, I promote shadow work all the time, because it's not dealing with the only demons you're fighting is yourself. And if you can't fight and conquer your own demons, how can you expect to go out into the world and fight and conquer and gain everything that you have worked your whole life towards? It's fairly impossible. So, with that being said, start a journal, okay? Which is basically the basis for this whole video. Start a journal. If you're not a meditation person, that's fine. Do something, put on some music, okay? Something that helps you mellow out, something that allows you to freely think, freely be, yourself. Get a pen and paper, get your notebook, just start writing, and you don't have to be writing to anybody in particular. What I like to do when I do this type of things, I will write like Dear Universe or Dear Self. And I'll start it off like that. I'll put the name, date, just like I'm writing a letter, because essentially that's what I'm doing. And I write everything down, then I write down all the thoughts, feelings, new insights, or whatever the case may be that I have had for the day or the situation. When I finish, because I'm a meditator, I often meditate on everything I've written, essentially fighting my demons, doing my shadow work. And then when I finish, I like to clean everything out and have a renewal of fresh energy, usually with a pot of homemade tea or one of the tea blends that I make. Okay? So, your homework, or what I would like for everybody to do, is just start writing. Just start writing letters to yourself. Write letters to the universe of what your issues are, what you want to manifest, what's holding you back, what are your goals in life, how do you intend to achieve those goals, what are you going to do if anything or anyone steps in your way. That's shadow work. Okay? And like I said, I strongly advise for everybody to get into it. It's a very lucrative process, and it helps not only for your future but for you within yourself, which is really important, because faith without works is dead, and that applies in so many different areas in life. This is one of those areas. You cannot expect to get better if you don't acknowledge what's holding you back, if you don't acknowledge where the negativity is coming from. So that is the rest of my shadow working video. I realize sometimes I'm a bit scattered, so if you have any questions, feel free to hit the inbox. If you're new and it's your first time here, just press that little subscribe button right there, right down there. Anyway, this is the Sage Goddess. Once again, I thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them right down below. Subscribe to the subscription box. If you have any questions, you would like a one-on-one reading, you would like to enroll for any classes, please let me know. And y'all have a beautiful day. Okay. Bye.